Hey everybody, welcome back to the video. This is part 2 of our shield run. I do realize, first of all, I just want to start. I do realize that last time we were here, I went 3-2. So, what happens if I lose this game immediately? It's going to be a short episode then. What I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to post that game, make it a little mini episode so that you guys can have some closure, and then I'll probably just make 2 videos for the next week. So I'll make this one super quickly, but just have it out probably on like a Tuesday or something. And then I'll have that Sunday and the first draft video for Theros. If this goes well and actually is at least like between 30 minutes and an hour, I'll just make it my video for next week as I'm still starting, so it still gets pretty... It's a lot more work than I expected to be doing for each video, but I love it. I'm getting such a kick out of this, guys, so I appreciate all your support. And we're going to get started. I'm not going to waste too much time. If you enjoyed the video, remember, like and subscribe. Much appreciated, guys. So really quickly, what we're going to do first is just go over the deck again now that we're back. I've been thinking about it, right? So we're splashing for Banishing Light. Obviously, this is the first time I'm playing with the set, so now that I have more time to think about it, because originally we were splashing more in white. However, here's the thing. If all we're splashing for is Banishing Light, then I think it might be worth it to just end up splashing black instead. Because then we can splash Woe Strider, which is just a good card. And when it escapes as a 5/4. So it still fits in with the green-red, bigger than 4 power, game that we have going on here. And I don't think we want Aspect of Lamprey, honestly. What else did I want to splash? Oh, and we can also splash for Final Death. And maybe even for Rika Spawn. But already that's 2 cards that to me, like Final Death, is probably, maybe, it costs 2 more, so that's significantly more than Banishing Light is. But it exiles, which is so important, and it's an instant, and it can't be, because there's so much enchantment removal in the set, they could get rid of it. So I'm thinking that might be the plan, to cut the plains, cut the Banishing Light, go grab a swamp. We'll grab our cool swamps really quickly. Well, our cool swamp, better said. And then we'll put in what we want to put in. So first things first, I'm definitely putting in Woe Strider. And then putting in the Final Death. Everything else, I don't know if we can get away with splashing. So that's 2 cards. We have 1 black source. What else do we have to splash with? 2 black source, 3 black source, 4 black sources. I feel like we can pull it off, honestly. So I'll probably be running this now. Sorry for the sudden change, because I just thought back and really thought it might be worth it. I don't think I want to put it in for Rika Spawn. I think it is really good, but we already have enough escape cards as it is. And the thing is that if we put Farika Spawn, we're going to have to use black mana every time. So that's going to get annoying, A. And B, we have so many 4-drops, I really don't want to cut any of them. I love all of them. Like, this is such good room. I know 3 copies of Iroha's Blessing are a little tough, but it's a really good card. So we'd have to, like, cut something in the 4 slot, and we would have more escape creatures. So I think we're good for now like this. Now, we do need to cut one thing, since we put in Woe Strider and Final Death, but only cut the Banishing Light. So what I was thinking is just dropping the Hyrax Tower Scout. It really doesn't do much for us. It's not even 4 power. So like this, I think is better. Let's see. Maybe it's better, maybe it's not. Maybe I lose the first game. Who knows? We'll figure it out when we get there. But for now, let's fucking play this. I'm so excited. I'm also super upset that I can't do ranked draft yet, because that was the original plan, was to do if this ended really quickly, do a ranked draft of Theros. But I'm afraid I can't do that yet. Right now, all I can do is ranked draft Throne of Eldraine, which, while I do really like Throne of Eldraine, I want to be spending my gold on Theros drafts, not on Throne of Eldraine anymore. That being said, let's get started. This looks keepable. We can drop our 3-drop, and then if we draw any lands, it gets even better. So it's a little slow. We're definitely not getting the aggressive hand that we kind of want, but hey, there's a 2-drop. Okay, now officially I'm happy with this. We can go 2-3, and then if we draw a 4 land, which we just did, we can go into Renata. But you see, it's already popping up again, having 2 escape creatures back to back. We're not really going to be able to do anything with both of them. So, we're going to have to choose one or the other. Which Loathsome Chimera is just better, so. And you see he's going to block that with a 1/1, gain 2 life, but not horrible. We'll get our Chimera out and pass, and then next turn we can get down our Renata, which shall be, what, a 3/3? So, I don't mind it. Or maybe we don't even get down Renata. Maybe we just put out Mantle of the Wolf, so if they want to kill it, it's even worse for them. Because what of that? It'll be an 8/5, which they cannot block in the slight. Yeah, I think that actually might be better. And then if they remove it, it's an escape creature, and we get 2 2/2s. And they're tapped out right now, so now is like optimal timing for it. Let's do this. This might be the first time our opponent's seen the card Mantle of... what is it? I don't even know what it's called. Mantle of the Wolf. Mantle of the Wolf. So for now, you're going to chump. Understandable. So now, next turn, if they play anything scary, we have removal. And if not, we just drop our Renata and keep going with our lives. Ooh, okay, so it's a 5/6 now with first strike. However, oh wow, that's strong. So, ooh, that is actually super rough. How interesting. Okay. For now, right now it has first strike, so we actually would lose the combat. This is a really, really, really rough spot. For now though, it might just be drop Renata. Because right now our devotion's kind of high. And then try to force a trade eventually. It's too bad that that has vigilance, because now that kind of puts us in a shitty spot that even if he attacks, we don't really have a good attack on the way back. But it's fine. He's going to end up eating one of our creatures regardless with that. So that's why I'm not liking where we are. Like, I love this set. Enchantments are playable. I love it. We are not going to be blocking that because I'm going to assume he has some sort of trick. Though we really can't keep that up for too long. Because right now, if he double blocks, if we double block and he has some sort of trick, even then if we double block, he actually wouldn't even, it wouldn't get the kill. So, what's the play here, honestly? We could do 4 damage to it. Well, actually, do we have enough mana? We have 6 mana. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we can't do it this turn. We would have to play Omen of the Hunt and then probably just chum block with Renata. But the next turn we can kill it. We would have to do a lot though, but I think it's worth it. For now, let's go get our black mana. Because if we draw into the 5 mana exile, we're in great shape. And then we're going to have to chump it with Renata. Or do we even want to do that? Or would we rather chump with I think we might actually just chump with Loathsome Chimera. If it comes down to that. And then on our end step, if we don't do anything, we'll scry 2 and try to get to the exile card. Ah, he has his own Omen of the Hunt. Very well. So yeah, we'll chump block with Loathsome Chimera. It'll get eaten, but we'll get 2 2/2s. And then next turn, my apologies, what we'll do is we'll put Arewa's Blessing. Ooh, okay. Okay. Ah, this sucks. This actually sucks. So if we allow that, and that's basically, if he exiles it, we're super screwed. But, well, he'd exile the creature. We'd still get the 2 2s. So then we would next turn, we'd have to chump block that, for sure. And then, whether he exiles it or not, but then he'll do it. Okay. We're going to have to let it resolve for now. If he exiles it right now and we get the 2/2/2s, we can still do the Iroha's Blessing plan. If he doesn't, we're like kind of super screwed. Because here's what's going to happen. So right now we have to chump with Renata, which I absolutely despise. But so yeah, we chump block with Renata because we're going to get hit for 2 regardless. Then if we try to Iroha's Blessing and Final Flare, he can exile it in response to that, and then again we're super screwed. So I'm going to let him keep going. If he goes to end turn, I think the play is to sack this and try to find the removal. Because if not, we're losing this game. That he'll just exile it in response. So there it is. Okay, we will definitely top that. My turn. So we're going to Final Death that. There we go. However, that will be my end step. I can't do anything else. This is a super tight game now. And again, if he wants to exile the Chimera, that's fine. We're going to get our 2/2/2s. I'd actually, at this point, much prefer he just freaking exiles a stupid Chimera. But whatever. Okay, that's bad again. The good news is we have... Okay. So we have options. I can play the Hound, and it can block the Destiny Spinner or these two, and then I can actually kill the Voracious Typhon by using Final Flare, sacking the Mantle of the Wolf, which will give me the 2/2/2s I want. So that's actually not horrible. Yeah, exile those 3 for sure. Now I could... Do I want to final... Yeah, I do want to Final Flare because I want the Wolves. That's an instant, right? Okay, do not forget that. And then see what happens here. Okay. That's fine. Does it have... No, it does not have Indestructible. I think they might actually just have lethal on board here. Let's see. So if we... No, because we'll make 2 blockers. Okay. We're going to hit the Typhon. We're going to sack the Mantle of the Wolf. Because if they... Yeah. Hit that. Make 2 2/2s. Swallow that. Swallow that. Swallow that. And take 2. Oh. Stupid! I completely forgot that I had trample. Ah! The new set is actually killing me. Well, there went the run. Very well. I'm sorry, guys. That I completely... Oh, if I could have... Okay. I actually kind of want to go back there because even though I'm stupid... And this is why I say please leave what you think I did wrong in the comments for that exact reason. I do not think I'm any sort of Pro Tour level player. I want all of us to get better together, and that's why, because I make stupid mistakes like that all the time. So let's think back. If we had double blocked the land with the 2/2/2 wolves, and then we would have had 1 blocker instead of 2, we could have killed the 2/3 or eaten a 1/1. Regardless, we would have only taken 2, and that game could have continued. So yeah, that was a huge punt on my end. That actually, my heart. Yeah, my apologies, everybody. That was honestly just a huge punt on my end. And I'm going to try to drag this a little bit because I do have packs to open with you guys, by the way, and a lot of packs to open with you guys. And I'm not going to open all 10 at once. I'm going to do them individually so we can talk about draft picks and things like that. And also because I don't want people to see a 15-minute time mark and assume that I lost the first round. So that way there's no spoiler here. So really quick, I want to shout out to one of my first watchers. He commented on my first video. He was one of the people that watched my first video, and I remember him well. Caden Campbell, he actually sent me his code from his pre-release so that I could get 6 packs. So I just really want to give you a shout out, but I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is the kind of stuff that, you know, if I ever do make constructed videos, I'm going to need to be opening packs like this all the time. So thank you again, and thanks to all of you for watching. If you want to continue, we're going to open some packs here. So really quickly, Thassa's Oracle. I think that card is okay. I really don't think it's first pickable, though. Like, you should not, like, I shouldn't have to say this. You should not expect to win with this card. Like, I doubt you will ever be in a scenario. I mean, I'm sure people will do it. I'm positive. But it's very rare to be in a scenario where you're going to win by basically scrying your way to the bottom. And in my opinion, it's worse than scrying. Because, like, what if you play this on turn 2, right? You go, island, island. I need a land, so I need to put a land on top. And you look at the top 2. And you see one of, you know, the Thassa, the blue god, and a land. And you're like, oh, I can only put one on top. I can't switch the order to nothing. Yeah. So I personally really don't like that card. For that, I think it's a fine 2-drop. It's perfectly fine. But I just think it's not like first pickable in the slightest. Both of the uncommons are okay. If you're playing a controlling deck, I think the Birth of Meletis, I'm not really sure how to say that, is solid. For 2 mana, you hit your 3rd land drop, you make an 0/4 wall and gain 2 life. So in control, it's awesome. However, in an aggressive deck, obviously none of that is really great. None of it really calls the attention much. And then Hydra's Growth. If you're playing green-white and you have like Karametra's Blessing and you can protect the creature, this will get really stupid really quickly, especially if you put it on a really, really big trample guy. Or not even a big trample guy, just a trample creature. This can get really stupid. Beyond that, the commons, Mire's Grasp, probably one of the premier black commons. Revoke Existence is solid in this set. It's okay. You guys saw how Return to Nature did in this deck, so it's solid. Other than that, Nylea's Huntmaster, I'm not even sure what this card does. It's okay. Yeah, it's solid, but it's probably going to just get you in for an extra 2-3 damage, and that's probably the extent of it. So, next pack. Ooh, okay, I think this card is very first pickable. Very, very first pickable. So while it's 2 colors, which obviously you try to avoid when you can, for 2 mana on turn 2, like if you end up going red-black, and you can actually make it work in your seat, obviously don't force it, just if it ends up working out at all, you do want to be in red-black for this card. So turn 2, you force a discard. Then each opponent who didn't discard a non-land card this way loses 3 life. So, that last line there. Then each opponent who didn't discard a non-land card this way loses 3 life. So if they discard a land, they lose 3 life. And if not, they don't just discard a land. They have to discard probably something important, an instant sorcery or some sort of creature. Really good. And it comes back for 4 mana and 5 cards. I don't know if you'll be able to escape it more than once in a game, but even just doing it once, you're getting, because then it comes back and you get a 6/6, right, for 4 mana. But don't forget, you get a 4 mana 6/6, and this happens again. The opponent has to discard again. I think this card is really, really strong. I think all the Titans are pretty strong. Let me tell you, I actually think he might be the weakest of the Titans, but still really, really powerful. Beyond that, Metamized Prophecy, I like it, but I think it can get interrupted, which is annoying. But all in all, it's solid. You're getting a lot of value for 2 mana. Clothis' design, solid. I mean, it can be like a finisher, but again, at sorcery speed, so that they can see it and just chump block it. If it was an instant, maybe, and you could use it as a combat trick, sure. But at sorcery speed, I don't think that's really very playable. Beyond that, Riptide Turtle and the blue-red flash deck, sure. Incendiary Oracle. It's a 2 mana 2/2 by itself, so that's already solid. Beyond that, it has a relevant pump ability, and then it has that, I mean, I guess it kind of sucks that it won't help you escape creatures. Oh, sorry. If a creature dealt damage by Incendiary Oracle this turn would die, exile instead. So that's even more upside, because that way you're not fueling their escape. So, solid. And then Karametra's Blessing, I think that might be one of my pet cards. I really, really like that card. And a set full of enchantments, it's just so good. For 1 mana to just be able to keep up. Ooh, okay. So, starting with Arasta, how do you say that? Arasta of the Endless Web. So, it's a 4 mana Mammoth Spider with a laughable amount of upside. Like, holy crap. So, already 4 mana Mammoth Spider, I'm already interested in. I already kind of want to play. Beyond that, it's an enchantment creature, even better. Even though, I mean, for these kind of creatures, you actually don't want to get your giant endgame bomb hit by a Return to Nature, but it's fine. And then whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. So basically, if they do anything that isn't play a creature or play a land, you start getting tokens. So if they remove it, if they immediately, let's say you play 4 mana and they immediately remove it, you just paid 4 mana to take it removal out of their hand and still get a 1/2 out of the deal. This card is awesome. It's great. This is super first pickable. It's only in 1 color. Absolutely. I would first pick that every time. Beyond that, yeah, I've been saying, I told you guys last video. Excuse me. Stern Dismissal is just a solid card. I really do think in a set, like, imagine if on that turn where our opponent there played the 4 mana white enchantment that gives it +2/+2 in first strike, and that, like, it spawns tokens when it hits us. Imagine if just in response I Stern Dismissaled it. For 1 mana, I just got rid of it. Mind you, it bounces the creature, but the aura just goes to the graveyard. So, like I said, it's definitely not better than Unsummon, but for sure it is a really good card in this set, and I think people are going to be undervaluing it in draft, and I think I'm going to try to take advantage of that, and I suggest you guys do the same. Maybe you side it out if you see your opponent is not playing many auras. Sure, okay, that's fine. But I think most decks will be playing a solid amount of auras. Then Omen of the Forge is going to be like a staple common for red. 2 mana deal 2, and then it has relevance later in the game, and it can be sacrificed later in the red-black deck. That's just a good card. The rest of these are just, your solid common, like Stampede Rider. Love the art on this card, if you guys couldn't tell for part 1. Another one of the useful commons in red, but nothing insane. That being said, and I know I said that being said a lot. Oh man, we were opening really good rares for limited at least. So Phoenix of Ash, this is just like an awesome, like this is another first pick, like an A, for example, or the S tier, as some people say. I mean, at least I think it's S tier. It's a 3 mana 2/2 haste, flying with haste, which is already like okay, like you might play that in an aggressive deck. Then, say 3 mana, it gets +2/+0. Okay, now it's for sure amazing. Like this is a threat. They need to take care of this thing, because on turn 3 you deal 2 damage. On turn 4 they don't have an answer. You're dealing 4 in the air every turn now. Now you get to turn 6 and you have your 6 lands, and you start doing 6 in the air. Yeah, this thing needs to be taken care of. But here's the thing: it has an escape cost. For 2 and 2 red, exile 3 other cards, and it comes back with a +1/+1 counter on it. Yeah, this card is stupid. This card is awesome. Like, they will never truly deal with it unless they exile it, This card is great. I'm a huge fan. Again, this is easily first pick. Easily. You just grab this and you're happy about it. You're like, fucking awesome. Beyond that, our uncommons are okay. I wouldn't really play Thundering Chariot. I don't like how it has a crew cost. Obviously, it's a vehicle, so it's going to have a crew cost, but I'm not... Like, it's okay. It's not anything insane. I guess if you really, really need creatures, like, okay, but... And then Dream Shaper Shaman. I haven't played with it too much yet, but I don't know how I feel about it. You have to sacrifice... Like, maybe in red-black, where you're sacrificing stuff anyway, it's okay. But outside of that, I don't know how I feel about this card. However, we will have to see it in play. I haven't seen it played against me either, so we're going to have to see. Beyond that, Blight Breath Catapleibus is just solid. 6 mana 3/2 that has removal state to it. Obviously, it's conditional. So on its own, it's 6 mana 3/2 -2/2 to something else. It's okay. But if you start building like a mono black deck, this will get stupid. You guys know I like Altar of the Pantheon and Nexus Wardens. And then lastly, I think this is going to be Premier Green Removal. +0/+2 and fight a creature. Because, like, this is this is one of those scenarios where it actually is better to increase toughness. Because if you wanted to fight it anyway, you don't want to increase its power. I mean, sure, like, maybe it'll trade up for something higher. But like this, your 4/4, your 3/3, like your 2 or 3 drop doesn't just trade in the fight. It actually wins the fight and comes out of it alive. So I feel like this is also going to be very highly picked once we get into draft. Wow, a third Haktos. Wow, I'm going to have to make a Haktos deck. I almost have a full playset of them on the... Well, right now, the day I'm recording is actually Saturday, January 18th. So, and I recorded the first video on Thursday. So already I have almost a full playset. If I do make a Haktos constructed deck, I'll let you guys know. Excuse me, water break. But is he first pickable? I don't know. Maybe in this pack, but I doubt it. I think actually, if this were like pack one, pick one, I would go with Caliphie. She's only one color. While you do need the Devotion to Blue, I do like how she just makes all your stuff a little more hard to hit. So she's okay. And then, you know, her power will start going up, and she might actually be relevant. Whereas Haktos, you're being forced into red white. You're not splashing him in either of those decks. And even then, if you're splashing him, he still might just miss. Like, he'll roll a 2, and they have 2/2 drops, and you're just gonna eat one, I guess, for 4 mana. Like, that's not great. Beyond that, Therondy, I'm not really sure how to say that. Singer is 2 mana, 1/3 flash flyer that it gives a creature -X/-0, where X is your Devotion to Blue. It's okay. That's all it is. It's okay. I wouldn't say much more about it. Like, it'll do its job. It's just your solid 2-drop. I like how it's a flyer. In a set full auras, maybe you can augment it. But it's just okay. I don't think I'd first pick it at all. And then all these are just run-of-the-mill commons. Like, this is probably the best common of all of them. Like, this guy's okay. It's okay. Not really much more I have to say about it, to be honest with you. Okay, rare wild card. So whatever the best rare is. Beyond that, I think the pick here is going to be Banishing Light. Just solid 3 mana removal. And here's the really important part, guys. Exile target non-land permanent. So not just creatures. You can hit enchantments, you can hit artifacts, you can hit auras, you can hit creatures, whatever you want to hit. And it exiles for as long as it's on the battlefield. So in a deck, in a meta full of escape creatures, I feel like Banishing Light is so important. If you hit one of the Titans with this, it's huge. You can hit the gods with this too, and it'll exile. So I feel like this is easily the first pick. I do like Funeral Rites a lot. Putting the 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, that's just great. You're going to be able to exile stuff. Like, I'm a fan. Beyond that, Omen of the Sea, solid. Sunmane Pegasus, solid. Elite Instructor, solid. But yeah, I'd either go with whatever the rare is, if it's solid, and then, if not, Banishing Light. Okay. I'm glad I opened this card. You know what? I am very, very happy I opened this card. Because I want to talk about Treacherous Blessing. So, this card, it's gotten a lot of talk about it, right? 3 mana, draw 3 in black. But whenever you cast a spell, you lose a life. And then whenever it becomes a target of a spell or ability, sack it. I feel like the only time this is really going to be good is in a hyper-aggressive deck where you really have 0 care about your life total. That you go, like, maybe in like a Rakdos, like hasty 1-drop, hasty 2-drop, hasty 3-drop, and you're like hyper aggressive, and then on turn 5 you Treacherous Blessing that you're already winning, and you draw into that cheap removal you need to just win the game. Okay. Beyond that, I think this card is pretty much unplayable, because unless you can do it and then immediately target it, which I don't know what you want to target it, you're going to have to spend more mana and lose a life. I don't know. I mean, I'd love to, if you guys think differently, let me know. Like, if you send me a screen cap of you doing some insane shit with Treacherous Blessing, let me know, because I want to see it. Because, let me tell you, I like the card. Like, I kind of want this card to be good, but my logic brain is telling me no, that like don't do it, don't fall for the trap. So I don't think I'd really touch that. Beyond that, I'm not sure what this card even does. The Triumph of Anax. So it's a 3-mana enchantment with four chapters. The first 3 are all the same though. Till end of turn, target creature gains trample and gets +X/+O, where X is the number of lore counters on Triumph of Anax. And the 4th is target creature you control fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. I guess in your red aggro deck, like, it's sure you get 3 terms of pump and trample, which is okay. Like, it's solid, but then like you can just choose the creature and they bounce it or remove it. And it's only +1, and then at the most being +3, and it doesn't increase toughness at all. So it's like, maybe you'll custom trades. Who knows? I could be wrong about this card, but I don't think it's that crazy. And then you get to fight a creature you don't control, right? But they see it from 14 miles away. They can just trade off their creatures and then just not play anymore. Which, if they do, you might be winning. Who knows? But I don't think it's amazing for that reason. Like, yeah, just to fight a creature, but they know about it. I don't know. We have to see this card in play to really decide on it. I would probably take in this pack Dreamstalker Mana Core and try to put together the blue-red flash deck because it's just good. Like, this is just a 3-mana 4/2 that starts pinging people. Hell yeah. And then I've already talked, like, Unknown Shores is like, I wouldn't really use it to splash unless I absolutely had to for some Titan or something. And these 2 are okay. This is okay. And this is like, I don't know. We have to see in the set. I don't think it's that great, but who knows? Maybe in the set it'll actually become super relevant for destroying enchantments. Now, okay, this is an easy pack. Nadir Kraken. You just take that. You don't even ask questions. This thing is absolutely stupid. Absolutely stupid. So, whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Nadir Kraken and create a 1/1 blue tentacle creature token. So, on the beginning of your turn, you draw a card, you pay 1, automatically this becomes a 3/4, and you get a 1/1. So, like, you start making this bigger, and sure they have removal, fine, you already made your tentacle creatures. And then if you start drawing cards on top of that, not on your upkeep, this just gets stupid. So this is a slam dunk, Nadir Kraken. It's only 1 color. Hell yeah. And then Nyx Herald, solid card. It's just solid. Like, it'll do what you want it to do most of the time. It'll give something for power in the green-red deck. I don't know. Whatever this would have been, we'd have to look at it. This is okay. This is okay. And this in that Sakdos deck is like, we have to see how many outlets you have, but I don't know how I feel about it. Another Phoenix of Ash. I already talked about this card. I'm glad I got another copy. So that would be definitely what I take. If this wasn't here, I'd probably be in between Madamai's Prophecy, which is like okay, but I don't know if I would want it more than Iroa's Blessing or Ornament of the Forge. I might just take Iroa's Blessing. Again, I love this card. Do you know what it is to have 4 mana, deal 4, and then it sticks around as +1/+1? I think this card's just great. Now, final pack. Okay. So, while this is 2 colors, and heavily 2 colors, you can't even splash it, it might just be worth it to take it. This card is so good. So, when you attack, automatically, let's say you just play it, right? And you're like, oh, it's a 3/5. That's only when it's blocking. As soon as you draw, I mean, yeah, when it's blocking on the opponent's turn. On your turn, you draw a card, right? Automatically, it's a 4/5 flying with lifelink, right? If you draw any more cards, which you're playing blue, you very well might be playing more card draw. It becomes however big it gets, so to a 5/5, a 6/5, 7/5 with lifelink, so you can't race it. Then, at any point, if you have a card in your hand, you just can't kill it. You just discard a card, and then it gains hexproof until end of turn. The most it can do is force you to tap it on your upkeep so that it can't do anything, but it's going to get to that. Like, this is a great card. I might just pick it even though it's so heavy in both colors. I mean, other than that, this is pretty bad. This is like, it's just not better than 3 mana removal. Like, it's not better than Murder, but it's solid. It's okay. And then Myers Grasp is good. Envoy is good. I think this guy's okay, but only in the Sakdos deck. So I think it might just be Dream Trawler. Beyond that, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. If you liked the video, remember, like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you guys want to roast me for that stupid punt. Have at it. I'm a fucking idiot. But beyond that, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Remember, follow me on Instagram @EfficientEric. Thank you so much. See you next time.